What up, my fellow Knicks fans? This is your guy Marcellus Ease, and don't panic quite yet. Now, since being let go from the New York Knicks, David Fizdale has made his first media appearance in which he expresses some of his sentiments and some of the pressures that come with being the New York Knicks head coach. And let me just start off by saying this. David Fizdale comes from the Miami Heat Pat Riley camp, where it's sort of run in a militaristic style. Now, among players, GMs, head coaches, everyone kind of toes the company line in good times or in bad. Now, David Fizdale right here is going to express some of his sentiments. And like I said, good thing for him, among in the media, his reputation has not taken a hit. Now, the Knicks front office has made a lot of questionable moves. He's never really had a point guard throughout his tenure. The Dennis Smith Jr. move has not really end up working out. The best player he had in his short tenure is Julius Randle. And the Knicks star KP, of course, the front office had a falling out with him. They had to get rid of him. So a lot of things kind of went wrong with this. And the Knicks struck out in free agency completely. You guys check it out, and every once in a while, I'll check in.
What's your assessment now that you've had a little bit of time away from it on how your chapter ended there?
Oh, I mean, that's the business we've chosen. Obviously they had to make a tough decision. I respect those guys greatly. I miss the hell out of them. All of the
That's him right there towing the company line. I missed the hell out of him. Come on, Fizdale. But I gotta say this, Fizdale, he was on under a 4-year deal. And a year and only about 20 games in, this guy was let go. So he's getting a nice little payday for at least 3 years worth of work while while not being with the organization. So it's not that bad of a deal for him.
players and the staff and guys like that. But that's our business. And at the time we were 4-18, and they had to make a tough decision. And so, I have no ill feelings towards the situation. I understand that this is our business, and I obviously learned a ton from it, and I was just really grateful to have that opportunity to be able to say I was the head coach of the New York Knicks.
And coach, just sticking with the New York job again, it's such a unique animal. What are the challenges of being the coach, not only even in that particular city, but in that arena in Madison Square for a team like the Knicks?
I think especially when you're talking about a rebuild, with the Knicks, I think
That's the issue right there. The rebuild. Rebuilding is a part of owning a franchise and just having a franchise. Rebuilding is just a process. It's the same process as competing, as anything else. Practice, organizational management. The Knicks and this whole media narrative of them rebuilding, it can't happen here. New York City fans aren't going to be patient. This is what kind of happens when you kind of bullshit in one of the processes of actually running a franchise, which is rebuild, is that we're kind of stuck in this limbo of 20 years of half-ass rebuilding. This is something that this narrative, we're just going to have to get over it. It's going to be ugly, it's going to be slow, but it's part of the process of getting to that championship level.
The toughest part about New York City and Madison Square Garden is the patience level. It's a team that struggled for a long time, and I think the fans really want to get that thing going as soon as possible. And it's unique from that standpoint because there's other places that you.
I don't think the fan base wants to get there as soon as possible. I really think it's the ownership. It's the ownership. It's the front office. I don't know if the rebuild kind of messes around with the money. I doubt it, but it's just, I don't know, the pressure, the optics, maybe it's the media just not being in good favor with James Dolan. So when the team is not performing well, they just, clown him a little extra. And we all know where some of those sentiments come from. It's really from James Dolan, exercising his power of ownership. He owns the stadium. He used to own the cable television network. So he expressed his power over the media, and that's always had a trickle-down effect on him. Since he expressed a lot of that power with the New York Daily News, the rest of the media throughout the nation, nationally, have actually gone against James Dolan. And so when the team doesn't perform well, I don't know if it adds a little extra pressure on him and just the optics of the New York Knicks. But something is definitely rotten right there because, like I said, rebuilding is part of a process of owning a franchise. That's like, anything else, like, players practicing Players practicing is part of them performing in a game. It's repetition over and over. It's just a process. You got to love the process. And rebuilding is definitely a process. And this whole narrative, like I said, of just New York City's not going to be patient enough to a rebuild, that's bogus.
You can take your time a little more and build it a little more slowly. But, you know, in Madison Square Garden, it's a tougher environment. And with the media market surrounding the team and all of the scrutiny that comes with it.
Yeah, he just means the scrutiny, especially, like I said, relating that back to Dolan. They don't like the fact that Dolan expresses his power over the media. It's a trickle-down effect.
It could put a lot of pressure on the people in the building, but I really think they're on the right track. They got a lot of young talent, you know, a ton of cap space, and they got great people under the roof. And I just think that it's just a matter of.
That's him towing the company line right there again. A lot of great people under the roof. I don't know if Steve Mills is that guy, because last season, when the season ended, him and Scott Perry got in front of the media and spoke and talked about how rebuilding was plan A and getting NBA, you know, the top level free agents was plan B. And now all of a sudden this season, they threw Fizdale under the bus 18 games in. A lot of their signings after striking out at free agency did not work out. And then the most crucial part is the point guard situation, which initially created this trickle-down effect of just the whole team struggling with Alfred Payton and especially Dennis Smith Jr. That's going to be key in Fizdale's tenure. That Dennis Smith Jr. move, it did not work out at all. So Fizdale never had a point guard to begin with. He never even had his own star, which is KP. The Knicks ended up dealing him because he had a falling out with the team. Just a lot of things went wrong here. And David Fizdale, like I said, good thing for him. His reputation didn't really take a hit because fan base and the media can see right through it. It's definitely guys in the building and the upper management.
Time before it all comes together.
You mentioned the pressure, Coach, and RJ Barrett obviously has a lot of pressure coming in there as he continues to develop. How do you find the fine line between developing him in that pressure cooker?
Now, RJ Barrett in that pressure cooker, this is one key thing that the Knicks front office has to make sure, that they do not create a toxic environment around RJ Barrett. Now, all I have to say this, during Fizdale's tenure, there must have been pressure at the end of it to win, because they took a rookie player and played him out of position in the toughest position for most rookies to get used to, which is point guard. There was quite a few games when the Knicks had Alfred Payton and Dennis Smith Jr. out that they moved RJ Barrett into the point guard position. And this is very tough because he was already getting used to the league in his own position, which is shooting guard. But they moved him to the toughest positions for most rookies to get accustomed to, which is the point guard position. So that move right there alone told me that there was already pressure. There was already pressure to make things happen with this team.
Well, I think if anybody's okay with the pressure, it's RJ Barrett. This kid he's a different kind of kid. I really think he was built for New York City and Madison Square Garden. He is not easily rattled. His work ethic is second to none. You know, and he's got a real toughness about him and a professionalism that fits the city.
Yeah, he definitely does, but just make sure that the environment around him is not that toxic, especially, you know, like I said, we have the media, the issues with the media and the ownership, and just playing him out of position while he's getting accustomed to the speed and everything of the league. And then the position they played him is the toughest positions for rookies to get accustomed to. But at the end of the day, as far as David Fizdale, like I said, his reputation didn't really take a hit that bad because we all know guys like Steve Mills is definitely front and center. And it just, from the outside looking in, it looks like David Fizdale was the fall guy. But good thing for him, he gets 3 years salary without even being part of the organization, and his reputation doesn't get a hit. And plus, he had other job offers before he came to the Knicks. So I'm pretty sure he'll get other looks. It is what it is. You guys stay safe. Peace.